Dion from Last Quokka. And this is actually the second interview I've done with Dion because the first one was 19 years ago, 2006, at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, in another life that you had back then, the Flairz.
Yeah, the Flairz, that's right. I still can't believe that we met 19 years ago. And I can't believe it's, yeah, 19 years ago now. March, obviously, South by is happening right now. So that's crazy.
What are your memories of Austin?
Fantastic. I mean, I think our parents and management prepped us really well for like the enormity of the situation, I think. We knew it was a big deal as much as we could at the age of like 12 or whatever the hell we were. But also it was my first time to America. So like those two things paired together, I can remember that entire trip pretty vividly.
Yeah.
I loved Austin. I remember having a fantastic time. Yeah.
Well, everyone was into the Flairz because you're all so young, like you said, around 12. What became of the Flairz after then?
Uh, so we like obviously did it in 2006. We came back and I think we finished up some festivals that we had already planned in Australia. I think I mentioned we went to Phillip Island to play like New Year's Eve and all those sorts of things. And then we basically we got back stuck into recording our album because we just started making putting a dent in it, if you will, just before we got to South by Southwest and tried to get back and start recording. And we put out another single called Bullseye, which did quite well for the band here in Australia and, sort of gave us another whole nother life here in Australia again. And then we obviously tried recording the album, but we faced some issues of our voices breaking and changing, and so there was a lot of re-recording and having to change keys, and it was a long, lengthy process.
Have you ever got back
Um,
together?
we did, yeah, we got back together. So we finished up at the end of 2009 when we called it a day. And then I started hearing from other people that there was this idea that the Flairz were going to reunite. And so we ended the offer came through and we played a festival down here in Fremantle called Hidden Treasures, which is a really cool event. I love it, and I've played it a few times now. And yeah, they got the Flairz to close out one of the nights, and we got back together, got in a room together, and just it was in 2016, and so yeah, we had to kind of go back down that memory lane, if you will, and relearn some of those songs. And it was a really great show. It was a really exceptional turnout. We had a lot of fun.
I can imagine how that would have been marketed. The Flairz performing for the first time with beards.
Yeah. I remember having an interview with her, and it was like, yeah, you're never too old to reunite was like the headline or something, and it was just so funny because I think I think I might have only just been 22 or 21 at that point. So it seems ridiculous that you were reuniting at such a young age.
Let's talk about Last Quokka. Take the Fight to
Yeah.
the Bastards is the fourth album for the band, but the first album for you. So tell me how
Right.
you joined this band.
Justin, who is the other guitarist in the band, it's a very similar story. I filled in once upon a time for a band that he used to play in, and we became really good friends from that experience. And not so long after, I ended up joining that band until that fizzled out. Justin has been a huge part of my musical sort of output over the last few years. He produced an album I put out last year and plays in that band live. And then it wasn't until I think like the end of 2023 or the start of 24 maybe where he asked me, he goes, "Man, are you going to fill in for Quokka? We need a fill in. We're playing with a legendary punk band from LA called Off." And he was like, "We don't have another guitarist." And I went, "Yeah, of course." So it was a last minute thing. I kind of dropped in and played this gig. It was a lot of fun. And sure enough, a couple months later, we were all at a Bucks party. And I happened to be talking to Trent, the singer, and I was like, "Man, thank you for letting me fill in." I had a lot of fun. It was great. And he goes, "Yeah, funny enough, Kirill, our guitarist, I think he might be leaving. He might be leaving the band." And I thought, "Oh God, what are you going to do?" And he goes, "Yeah, we'll have to find another guitarist." And I said, "Who do you have in mind?" And we're just walking around in Freo, and he goes, "Well, we'd love to ask you, but we know you're busy." And I said, "No, I'd be up for the conversation." What I didn't realize is I'd be asked by another band that night to join their band. So I joined two bands at one Bucks party. Is how it happened.
And with the
Yeah.
new album, are you playing on every track on this new record?
Not every track. They had, knowing that Kirill was going to be leaving the band, they really wanted to incorporate some of him in the album because he was there during the early writing processes for the record. Justin, who produced the record, eventually got me in to come and track some guitars. Funny enough, I didn't use any of my own guitars. He used my guitars, and I used Uncle Dom's guitars. So that's something. But yeah, I ended up tracking on probably about half the record. Yeah.
So what are the songs that you're on?
I'm on Satellite, which is a great tune. I really love that one. I think that's a really cool song. It kind of evokes a lot of Midnight Oil, I think. Out on the Weekend, uh, OTC on the Couch. God, there's one more that I know I'm on as well. I think I played on a little bit of the opening track from the Dark. Yeah, I honestly, he kind of got me in. Like, I have an extremely busy schedule, and so he was like, "Please come down," and I was like, he goes, "Can I just get you down to just do the things really quickly?" And I was like, "Sure." So it was a really long day, and I don't know, there was a lot of food involved and a lot of coffee and beers.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the title, Thunder Duck. Very clever.
Yeah. It's I got to say, I had very little input on the songwriting aspect. I kind of joined as these songs were sort of coming to fruition, and um like I did when I filled in originally for them. It's such a fun tune. It's one of my favorite songs on the album, and we played it. We did a launch last night at a record bar in Fremantle, and we just did a tour with DZ Death Rays, and we pulled that song out for that run of shows. And we did a show here in Perth, and the crowd really heaved. I genuinely was like, "Oh my God, I think somebody's going to get hurt." So I love that tune. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. And DZ Death Rays, that tour is coming to Melbourne in a couple of weeks as well, early April.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We were trying to invite them down to, I think we're playing Brizzy ourselves, and we're playing Sydney and Melbourne, and we're like, "Come on, guys, surely come to the gig." And that's, the bane of our existence as musicians, right? We can never go see each other play. You just got to get them to play on your lineups.
How much of the new album are you playing live?
Quite a fair chunk now. I'm probably like somewhere between 60 and 70%. There's a couple songs on it that there's one song on it called Stupid White Bastard, which features another singer, Alex, who has just moved to Sydney, who Justin had been in a band with prior, with Joe from Pond, actually. And so she features on it, and we haven't quite figured out how we're going to pull that one off live just yet. We're not doing French Shrimp. That's quite a jammy tune, I think. And so we're still talking about doing that one. And I don't think there was ever any intention on doing the last song on the album called Waiting Room. That's kind of, I think, serves its purpose as a final song on the album. It's really good. I love it. I think it's a great tune. I was actually there when Carlotta was tracking the drums for it. It's a lot of fun. And I don't think we've really found a spot for that live necessarily, but it fits perfectly on the record, obviously.
What I love about Quokka's song titles is that you manage to have a statement just in the song title alone quite often. Like, for instance, Gina/Rupert.
Yeah,
I already know what that's about, just hearing the title.
Yeah, they're very ambiguous titles, super subtle.
Nazi Scum.
Yeah.
It leaves nothing to the imagination.
No, not at all. I think it's one of those, it does exactly what it says on the tin, right?
This band has a song called Melbourne Weather. Will you be game to sing that in Melbourne?
We have not played that song with me in the lineup yet. So I doubt it. I doubt it at this stage. I don't think there's I think we've locked down the because we're about to tour with the Pete Temple, so we've been kind of rehearsing a specific set for that. So I'd say that one might not make the set, but you never know, anything's possible. We've genuinely been on stage where they've just called an encore for a song that I've absolutely never played before, and just kind of figure it out on the spot.
Well, Melbourne Weather is actually the second song I can think of that is written about Melbourne weather. Do you know what the other one was?
Surely Black Umbrella by Even.
Four Seasons in One Day, Crowded House.
And Four Seasons in One Day, of course.
We've got the tour dates March and April right around Australia with DZ Death Rays and the Peep Temple. So, it's a great lineup. Come and see three great bands.
I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't really personally done a ton of over east run like shows. I've kind of eased into just sort of gigging around in Perth and playing the big support slots in my other projects and doing fun stuff like that, and just kind of I recently downgraded like my size of like my live rigs and stuff like that, and since joining Last Quokka and the other band respectively Red Engine Caves, it's been like, oh no, I have to buy like touring cases again, damn, I have to upgrade my pedal board size, oh no. And it's like, as a teenager in the Flairz days, that would have been like my dream come true. You know what I mean? It's like the bigger, the better.
Yeah. Well, it's great to talk to someone from a punk band wearing a Taylor Swift t-shirt.
Yes, yes, of course, absolutely, massive Swiftie. As is Trent. Trent loves Taylor.
So this isn't rebellion.
Actually,
this isn't rebellion. This is actually you, the fanboy of Taylor Swift.
massive. We actually, this is funny as how we were finishing up. We finished up a show in Bunbury with DZs, and we were all sitting around, and Trent put some music on, and I forget genuinely, and like some tunes from Taylor's album Folklore had started coming on, and I was like, oh, great song. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't my playlist. I was like, Trent, that's right, I forget. You're just like, and he gets really like, he really arcs up about it because like the other guys in the band are sort of like, about it. They're like, whatever. It's not really what they listen to. And Trent's just like, no, you're wrong. Taylor's the best.
Have you ever quackerized? Is that the right word? Quackerized a Swift song?
Quackerized. I don't think we'd be allowed to. I mean, I know since saying that, I will literally text Trent as the group chat as soon as we finish this and say, we said, we could be quackerizing a Taylor song. He'd be the first one to be like, yes. Everyone else would be like, absolutely not.
Let's hope. Let's hope there's a few surprises like that at the Melbourne show.
Every Quokka show is a surprise for all of us. I had a cymbal stand come flying down on my elbow last night during like the first song. So, I have to drum a gig this Saturday, and I was like, this is just not gonna be good. Anything's possible. Trent will run out into the crowd, and I don't know. It's a free for all.
Yep. Well, good to talk to you. It's been 19 years. Let's hope it's not another 19 years because I'll probably be dead. But we'll try and do it before then.
Let's try and we'll keep less time between drinks, huh?
Yeah.
I can't believe you that that's just a real spin out.
Good to have you here at Noise 11.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.